Well, welcome back to the Shift Conversation. When I was a young adult, I was participating in an adult forum at my church and came across this quote from Frederick Buechner. The place God calls you to is the place where your deep gladness and the world's deep hunger meet. That quote just went deep for me, and it has been a guiding light through my entire life. Whenever I have wondered what to do next, where to go next with my life, this quote has kept coming up for me. So this is part of what the fourth shift conversation is about, is engaging in your conversation with this quote. Where does your joy, the moving of the Spirit in your community that you talked about in the first video, connect with what the world needs from you? And maybe you began to get a sense of that in your third shift conversation, what your community might be needing from you, and how can you bring those two things together in some way over the next few months. So that's what this conversation is about, and what we hope you will continue to be thinking about as a community going forward.
You know, it's easy to think about our congregations. There might be multiple passion points where our joy and passion would meet the needs of the world. At the same time, that feels overwhelming to me.
Yeah.
If we have to make pivots in church, if we have to shift into some new things, to think about doing it all together in one fell swoop is too much for me. I need to think a little in smaller increments. And so one of the ponderings that we have had in recent weeks is what if we developed resources in 5 specific areas? Because we've read some things and we've talked to some folks at the Center for Progressive Renewal, and we can see some things that are emerging on the frontiers of faith. And so if we put resources around these 5 things, it might better enable you to sort of funnel down your thoughts and focus on a particular area. So here are the areas in which we are developing resources. The first one really relates to the last video we did, which is how to engage in community life more deeply. And this is a local missions ministry thing. You know, from farmer markets to music festivals to shelters and all kinds of ways that we might think about where the intersection is between church and the spiritual needs and the real human needs of our communities. Right. The second area is related to that, but it's on a more systemic level. It's what are the justice ministries that in your congregation you might develop more fully. And these are ministries such as environmental concerns and global hunger and poverty and concerns around immigration or Black Lives Matter. Some of you will want to delve into this area of exploration. The third one I'm excited about because we've trained a bunch of coaches along leadership development. In fact, they're in practicums right now for the next several months. And one of the things we're discovering is that many of our pastors would love to have the help of a person to journey alongside them and to be a sounding board and to be a wisdom speaker and to help prayerfully discern the way that leadership can be done in the local church. And at the same time, we understand that collaborative leadership between the pastor and the chairperson or presidents of the congregations is so vital. And so we want to lift up the possibility of moving toward healthier leadership in our churches. The fourth area is around spiritual formation. Sunday school these days isn't even called by that term, and it doesn't look like it looked when I was growing up and when you were growing up. We have a myriad of ways and places in which church school spiritual formation is done terrifically in this conference. We want to share those. We want to share resources, curriculums, ideas, best practices. We have some congregations that are pioneering new ways of thinking about confirmation. And some of you will be interested in developing that as a way of shifting your ministry into the future. And the last area of development is kind of a catch-all, fresh models for ministry. And this relates to everything from a large scale. We need to think about pastoral staffing in a different way in our congregation, to some smaller scale things. Like, for example, the other day somebody called me and said, we're just not content with our old-fashioned model of committee structure. It's not serving the mission of the church. And our bylaws and our constitution are kind of in the way, but is there a different idea? Can we think about fulfilling our mission in fresh ways? We have resources around that, and this is exciting, and we hope that you find one of these areas to delve into.
One of the things that just really excites me about this whole initiative is the way in which we are working to really develop a network of connections and a web of support right here in our conference. That we have a lot of wisdom and a lot of great ideas and a lot of models that are working, where people are kind of pushing out, and we want to share that, and we want to connect people with one another so that they can help and support one another. That's what we'll really be focusing on in the association and conference annual meetings this year, and probably for a while, I would guess, is really trying to help tell our stories, tell what's working and sometimes what's not, so that we can all learn from it, and help you connect with other congregations that are doing similar work so that you can support and encourage one another. The best way that we will resource one another is through those relationships and those connections. And then we'll also do some more formal things around the coaches and 5 practices, facilitation, and consultants in various areas that will be available for more in-depth work with congregations. So I hope that you'll engage with the association and the conference annual meetings to help you get connected and plugged in.
Well, Tisha, I have this crazy dream. That at annual meeting in June this year, we will care for each other enough and we will trust each other enough that we may be willing to stand up and say, our congregation is going to work on this area of ministry, and name it and claim it, and share together that this is exploring, this is new frontier. But together we can do it.
And wouldn't it be fun then for annual meeting of 2017 to be a time of celebration where we lift up what people did and what they learned from the things that worked and the things that didn't work, that they were courageous to try something new. So we hope that this, above all, this whole process invites you and encourages you to try something new, to stretch a little bit out of your comfort zone in one specific area, and to ask for support and be willing to share the wisdom and the strength that you have as a congregation. Please continue to engage with the website, the Shift page on our website. I will be posting additional information about the 5 areas that Franz outlined and resources to help you in identifying goals and working through a process so you've decided what you want to do, but how do you get there? And I'll be providing some support around that. And your associate conference ministers, Joanne, Jane, and Rob, are eager to support you in any efforts that you take. And if you have any questions for me, I'm happy to help you talk through a process or get you connected with someone who might be working on the same thing. So please use us also as a resource, our staff and Franz. And above all, have fun with this and try something and see what happens. And then tell us about it so that we can share your experiences with others.
Blessings, friends. Yes, thank you.
Blessings.